So in 1968, I was a young married man. I had 2 children and went to work as a car salesman. I was a very unsuccessful car salesman. Somewhere along the line in the, I guess around 1977, 78, a woman that I knew was a model, and she said, why don't you go see my agent, about getting some work. Then I went to see him, and the next day I was in a fashion show, and I've never had a 9-to-5 job since. So as the years were going by, doing fashion shoots and TV commercials, I started getting speaking parts from watching the fights with my oldest son, who was the biggest sports fan of the 2 boys. And a ring announcer gave a decision for a split decision where he already let you know who won the fight after the first 2 scores. And he took away that drama of knowing that 3rd score, and you make the building into a church and you say the winner by split decision. So my son said, Dad, you could do that. Well, I thought it was a great idea because I was a fan. I loved the sport of boxing. The very first time I did it, my hands were shaking with the scorecards. I didn't even really know how to read them, and I wasn't getting any help from anybody. I got another chance and corrected a lot of mistakes, which is something I still do to this day. The very first big fight that I did in Madison Square Garden, a sellout with 19,000 people. I had very little experience. I was given a list of fighters that were present to introduce before the main event. Larry Holmes and Ray Boom Boom Mancini, Marvelous Marvin Hagler. I would introduce all these fighters and they would come up into the ring. And I saved the final introduction for Muhammad Ali. By then, I'm cooking. I'm really like, man, this is exciting. I'm loving every minute of it. And I can remember exactly what I said at the time. He is known as, and perhaps he really is, the greatest of all times, the 3-time heavyweight champion. Just this big introduction. The place went insane with a standing ovation that seemed to last forever. And I can honestly say, from that moment on, I was never nervous again. Of course, the most common question I'm asked is, where did Let's Get Ready to Rumble come from? We've all heard in the world of automobile racing, gentlemen, start your engines. And I tried, man your battle stations and fasten your seatbelts, and it just didn't have any feeling. But the great Muhammad Ali used to have this phrase, and he used to say, oh, I'm so pretty, rumble, young man, rumble. So I started to say, let's get ready to rumble. And I caught some flack for it, and I just stayed with it and fine-tuned it through the years. I think it kind of caught on a little bit, because now every ring announcer has to have some kind of catchphrase. I think there's one thing that everybody dreams of being a part of, and that's to come to Monaco. My first time here for boxing was an event at the Salle des Etoiles, and featured on the card was Triple G, Gennady Golovkin, defending his middleweight title at the time. Last year, first time with Matchroom and the Boxing Bonanza, but it was here, Casino de Monte-Carlo, and being able to throw chips on the table and feel like you're James Bond or part of this magical scene that we have here. I'm here because in a few days we have another event, and it really is something special just to be here.